What we're going to show you today is how to draw a circle flange using your QuickDraw software for your ShopSabre CNC plasma table. What you first want to do is select the Draw a Circle icon in your toolbar. Next, you want to draw two circles. Now, keeping in mind it doesn't matter what size these circles are or where you place them, because we're going to use ShopSabre's right-click technology to edit these shapes. Once you have the shapes drawn, we're going to select one of the circles, right-click, select Edit, and in this input box we're going to make the diameter of this circle 12 inches. And we're going to repeat this process on the second circle, but this time we're going to make the diameter of this circle 6 inches. Once you have these parts drawn, we're going to use QuickDraw's right-click technology to place these shapes. What you first want to do is right-click, scroll down to Place Shapes, and you'll see down in the lower left-hand corner of the input box telling you what steps are next. So for our first step, we need to select the outside shape. And then again, for our second step, we need to select the shape to place, which is going to be our smaller circle. And now you'll see that a second dialog box pops up. Now in here, this is where we would set our offsets if we wanted any. For this particular part, we're actually just going to leave the offset set to 0, and we're going to place the part in the center and click Apply Changes. And you'll see that the circle is now inside of the bigger circle. Now for our next step, what we want to do is place a bolt hole pattern around this flange. Now in QuickDraw, this is a very easy step. What you need to do is select the outside shape, move up to your drawing icon in your toolbar, and select circular hole pattern. You'll see that a second dialog box will open up. This is where you set all the parameters for your hole. Now typically in a CAD drawing, it'll list the angle of which the holes will be placed. The nice thing about QuickDraw is you don't have to know the angle. All you need to know is how many numbers of holes, and it'll calculate the angle for you. So for example, we're going to give this a hole offset of 1 inch, and our radius we're going to put that as a 1/2 inch, and then the number of holes. So if we have 5 holes, you'll see that the angle has changed. For this particular part, we're going to make 8 holes, and that's going to place all the holes at a 45-degree angle. Now next step, we'll add the drill pattern, and you'll see that the hole pattern will appear on the flange. Now the next step, we're going to move this flange down into our 0 point for cutting. Now to do this, we simply select the part, right click, edit, and this is where we'll input. We're going to make it a 1/2 inch offset on the 0 for our lead ins and lead outs. So we'll change that to 1/2 inch and apply changes. Now our next step is to actually turn this into a part. This is an important step in QuickDraw, and it's very simple to do. You simply highlight the whole part, you'll scroll up to your group shapes icon in your toolbar, and you'll click that. Now you'll notice that the inner shapes have changed color. This is letting QuickDraw know that this is now a complete part, and it recognizes these circles as inner parts that need to be cut out first. And now from here we're going to make copies of this part. So what we're going to do is actually define our plate. So you'll scroll up to our machining icon, scroll down to define plate, and then here this is where we'll put our actual plate size. So we're just going to say that this is a 4x8 sheet, so 48 by 96, and then we'll click update. Now you'll see on the screen that we have a defined plate. Now from here we're going to make copies. To make a copy, we simply highlight the part, right click, copy, and this is the parts that we want vertically. So for this, we're going to make 6 parts vertically. We're going to make a 1/2 inch offset, and we're going to make this 2 parts horizontally with a 1/2 inch offset again. And now we'll click Make Copies. And now you'll see that QuickDraw has placed the parts on this sheet. Now from here, what we need to do is create the G code for these parts. To do this, we'll simply select all the parts, scroll up to our machining icon in our toolbar, and scroll down to Cut Strategies, and you'll see this secondary window that pops up. Now in this window, we want to make sure that our Save G code is unchecked because we're not creating code right now, we're just going to create the simulation. And then we want to make sure that the cut inside to outside box is checked. This tells QuickDraw to cut the inside circles before actually cutting out the piece. And then we're going to leave our lead-ins and lead-outs as is. And from here we'll click Update and then click OK, and you'll see that all the lead-ins and lead-outs have been placed, and we have a cut path. And if you want to view this cut path, we'll simply go up to our toolbar, select Play, and you'll see the plasma head actually cutting out the part. Now at any time you can click Stop and it'll cycle to the very end of the simulation. And now that we have reviewed our part, everything looks good, our lead-ins and lead-outs are there, our next step is to create the actual G-code for the machine. Now to do this, what we're going to do is simply highlight our parts, click on Machining in our toolbar, scroll down to Cut Strategy, and this time we're going to make sure that the Save G-code box is checked. And from here we'll click Update. Click OK, and then the next one that pops up is where we want to save our G-code. So for this, we're going to save it right on our documents, give it a name, I'm going to name it Circle, and click Save. And the next box that pops up will be the raw G-code ready to go to the machine to cut out these parts.